Welcome back to Bay Area Focus. Please welcome our next guest, Michael Boland, the Chief Planning Projects and Programs Officer for the Presidio Trust. That's a mouthful right there.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for coming on the show. Okay, the Presidio, it's such a beautiful place. So many people go and visit it. But for those people who don't know what the Presidio is, explain.
Yeah, well, so the Presidio is, when it was closed, it was the oldest national park site in America. I totally fucked that up.
It's okay.
It's a former Army base. When it was operating as an Army base, it was actually the oldest Army base in America. It was founded by the Spanish in 1776.
Yeah, that's a rich, rich history.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of historic things there.
Yeah, the whole Presidio is a National Historic Landmark District. It has nearly 500 historic buildings. Some of them date back to the 18th century. In fact, the oldest building in San Francisco is the Presidio Officers Club.
So this was a military post for more than 200 years.
Yeah.
How did it become a national park?
Yeah. Well, you know, because it was a National Historic Landmark District and because it had so many amazing landscapes, incredible views, and really rich natural history as well, they decided that it was really important that it should be protected for posterity and not developed. So it's your own little national park right next door.
And this is a beautiful view.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, it's a stunning, stunning view. Everywhere you go, you get views of the Golden Gate Bridge, the bay, the downtown skyline. But the whole time you're surrounded by these amazing wooded areas, beautiful trails you can hike on, streams, you know, again, right in the middle of San Francisco.
Sure, and it's great for kids too, right?
Oh, it's a fantastic place for kids. I mean, you can come and you can hike, you can go to kids programs at the Officers Club, you can go to the Disney Museum. They're just amazing things. Walk at Crissy Field. It's really an extraordinary place.
Okay, tell me what we're looking at right now, because this is just gorgeous.
Yeah, so this is the Batteries to Bluffs Trail. It's along the coast, and you know, when you're walking on it, it just feels like you could be somewhere way up the Sonoma coast. You have no idea you're in the middle of San Francisco.
Sure.
And I think most importantly, it's free. It's all free.
That is the most important.
Yeah, you know, the Presidio is free.
Price is right.
And it's just an extraordinary place to come for families, an extraordinary place to come and get away from the hustle and bustle of San Francisco.
Sure, it's absolutely gorgeous and huge. We know the Presidio Trust, it took over management of the Presidio back in 1998. Why, and what has been the Trust's role in that?
Yeah, so the Trust took over in 1998. You know, converting a park site like the Presidio, you know, a place that had 800 buildings, I mean, it was a mess. You know, it was a major fixer when the Army left.
Sure.
Converting that into a national park really took many hands. And so Congress created the Presidio Trust, and we work with the National Park Service, we work with our nonprofit partner, the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy, and the community to restore the Presidio and to operate it. So, you know, it takes many hands to take a place like the Presidio and preserve it.
So there are so many things to do when you go and visit the Presidio. If you're a first-timer, what do you suggest?
Yeah, well, the best thing to do is start at the Officers Club. In the Officers Club, you get a sense of what the Presidio is, why it's important, why it was preserved by Congress. From there are trails you can go out all over. You can walk down to the Disney Museum. They're great places to eat. You can go to Off the Grid right down the road, which is on the main parade on Sundays. Have a fantastic time. The best picnic in San Francisco is on Sundays on the main parade.
Okay, that's a good itinerary for first-timers.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
yeah.
So what about programs for vets?
Yeah, you know, veterans are a really important audience to us. I mean, so many people served our country honorably at the Presidio. That we have a number of things. We have special programs for vets. We just last month actually opened a new Korean War memorial in the Presidio. There's a World War II memorial. The National Cemetery has 30,000 veterans buried there, which is amazing. So there's a lot for veterans, and you know, we try to keep the memory of their service alive in a variety of ways.
Yeah, and that's so important to do. Yeah. You were talking about a couple of restaurants at the Presidio. A lot of really good dining options. Fantastic.
But we have about a dozen restaurants. A couple of them are put together by Tracy Desjardins, you know, James Beard award-winning chef. But there are a whole variety of different places you can eat scattered around the Presidio. So it's a great food destination as well.
Well, it has to be, right, because of San Francisco.
It's San Francisco, you got it.
It's a foodie place.
Yeah.
So what is next for the Presidio?
Yeah, you know, we are working on a couple of really exciting projects right now. A little later this year, we're going to get a new visitor center is going to open. We're finally going to have a visitor center. Every great national park has a great visitor center, and we're going to have one. It's going to be right at the main post. And that's just the beginning. Just behind it, we're working on a new park. It's going to be 14 acres. It's going to go over the freeway, over Doyle Drive.
Okay.
You know, Doyle Drive is the approach to the Golden Gate Bridge.
Sure.
Well, you're going to be able to walk over the top of that on a new park, and it's going to be incredible. It'll connect Crissy Field and the main post, and it's going to be stunning. You know, the views of the bay and the bridge and the downtown skyline are going to be incredible, and there'll be lots of things to do, things for families to do. It's going to be really stunning.
So, do you have a lot of volunteers there?
We have over 7,000 volunteers in the park. Volunteerism is one of the key ways we keep the memory of service alive in the Presidio, and the community comes and is involved in everything, and it's fantastic.
Are a lot of these volunteers, are these military vets? Or?
We have vets, we have children, we have families, we have every kind of volunteer you can imagine, so it's a great place to come and get to know people in the community.
And you touched a bit on the children's programs, but what can kids do when they go there?
Yeah.
I know the museum would be great, the Disney Museum.
Disney's fantastic. They go to House of Air, which is this fantastic trampoline facility down at Crissy Field. They can go climbing. And as part of the project I just talked about, the Tunnel Top project, there's going to be a new youth campus with this 4-acre playground that's going to be built as well. So it's going to be, there's just so much to do for kids. It's going to be really fantastic when that opens.
Yes, there is so much going on at the Presidio. All right, well, thank you so much for coming on and
thank you.
reminding us, go visit the Presidio.
Yep, come visit us in the Presidio.
All righty, for more information about the Presidio Trust, just log on to presidio.gov. Again, that's presidio.gov. Coming up next, a global community inspiring people to create a sustainable world. We'll be right back.